Coming up on the Raiders Report today, Jim Harbaugh. Is he coming to Las Vegas? More news around this story. NFL.com released some destinations for Derek Carr in 2022. Find out where the Raiders rank on that. And then I have an absolutely wild Justin Fields trade idea. I'm going to go ahead and break that down, and I'll tell you who that's from. And then at the very end of today's video, my projected staff. Head coach, OC, DC, and general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders all coming up right now. Raider Nation, what's going on? You guys are watching the Raiders Report. Mitchell Renz, Chat Sports, and before I get into the Lays news and rumors, I got some news. We got a brand new sponsor. Shout out to Fetch Rewards. If anybody out there from the nation wants to go ahead and get started with this awesome app, all you got to do is go to chatsports.com/fetch and then use promo code Raiders. That's going to get you 3,000 bonus points, which then you can convert old receipts into gift cards. And I don't know about you, I like gift cards and spoiling myself. All right, so what's the latest here around the silver and black? We're talking about Jim Harbaugh. That's where we're going to start today's show because according to Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, who is a very credible source, he says that sources inside Michigan think Jim Harbaugh would take the Raiders' job if it was offered to him. Now, Jim Harbaugh, Mark Davis, they have a great relationship. Those goes back a very long time when Harbaugh was working underneath Al Davis. Heck, these two have had conversations before, all the way back in 2014, reported by Ian Rappaport that Harbaugh and the Raiders were, potentially going to link up. Harbaugh decided to go to Michigan, and then there's been a rumor that I've talked about multiple times on this show that the Raiders are potentially looking at offering Harbaugh $12 million a year. The other reason why I really started to think, and I gave it 3 Chucky heads on an earlier show this week, is because you have to look at everything. You got to look at all the tea leaves, and it's not just around Harbaugh. What about one of the guys that the Raiders are considering in Ed Dodds to be that next general manager? Well, Dodds withdrew from the Chicago Bears GM list yesterday. Now, Dodds has also been a very picky person in terms of if he's going to take a job, he wants to make sure that he knows 100% that it's the right job from him. Now, remember, Dodds got started underneath Al Davis back in 2003. Harbaugh and Dodds were together on the Oakland Raiders in 2003, and even that, I did my Mike Mayock GM replacement video. Number 1 on the list was Dodds. He's the betting favorite, and then even on top of all of that, yesterday, Raiders interim head coach Rich Bisaccia, he interviewed with Mark Davis to try to plead his case and why he deserves to be and still technically be the Raiders head coach. Now, I understand that, and I really think Bisaccia deserves to stay on the staff, and I hope and I pray to God that he is still on the staff. Hopefully they give him that title of assistant head coach. You make him the special teams coordinator, give him a bump in pay. But at the end of the day, this is a business. And if Jim Harbaugh, who I really truly believe is a better head coach than Bisaccia, then that's the route you have to go. And I've also heard from multiple sources that I am very confident in. And when they tell me that Bisaccia is not going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So, what do you guys have to say? Be honest with me. This is probably going to be the top comment that you guys go ahead and get your votes in for. Let me know why for yes or type N for no. Do you want Jim Harbaugh as the next Raiders head coach? Now, as soon as the Raiders announce who's going to be the next head coach, I'm going to be going live here on the Raiders Report, just like I went live for when they moved on from Gruden, just like when they moved on from Mayock. I like going live, though, for good news, because it's a lot more better and we can, have a little bit more fun. So here's your opportunity to hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, because I don't want you to miss anything. Now, I'm a very competitive person. I love winning, right? But I hate losing even more than I enjoy winning. And we're doing a fun little competition here at Chat Sports, and it's based on which YouTube channel gets the most people to download the Fetch app. Right now, I'm losing to 49ers and Cowboys, and Bears now is creeping up on me. I don't know about y'all. I hate losing, and I want to show my bosses, I want to show Fetch that Raider Nation is a lot better than the Cowboys report and a lot better than the 49ers report. So if you guys could, go to chatsports.com/fetch. Make sure you use promo code Raiders because I want to take down both of my friendly competitors. Now, the Fetch Rewards app is one of my favorite shopping apps. Why? because it pays you back with digital gift cards for scanning your receipts like you kind of see in the video, which you can redeem on purchases at your favorite stores like Target and Amazon. What it makes it different from other reward apps is that you can scan both physical and digital receipts, a feature not rewards apps have. Now, you don't have to take annoying surveys. It's quick and easy to use, and you can earn free rewards on everything you buy. If anything taught me about 2020 is to be smarter with your money. This app is going to help you be a little bit smarter. Now, I do want to give some love to the people who download the Fetch Rewards app, so this is what I want you guys to do. DM me a screenshot and then hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. So DM me a screenshot that you downloaded the Fetch Rewards app. And who knows, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you might see yourself on a future Raiders Report show. Let's beat the Cowboys. Let's beat the 49ers. But also, get yourself some gift cards. It's chatsports.com/fetch. That link is going to be available for you all in the comments and in the description. All right, let's talk about the next story coming up here. It's around Derek Carr, and is a trade coming? The reason why I'm talking about this and the reason why I started doing the Raiders Report is because you're going to get a lot of news, you're going to get a lot of rumors, and I really think it's important to have somebody to be able to sit down, break it all down for you and tell you what's real and what's not real. So NFL.com, they released an article around the idea of if the Raiders essentially move on from Carr. The title is Potential Landing Spots for the Las Vegas Raiders Quarterback. Now, what they ended up doing was they gave him the 5 top landing spots, which means the 5 most likely places that he plays in 2022, and then they sprinkled in some honorable mentions, which I do very frequently here on Chat Sports and on the Raiders Report. Now, the top 5 landing spots, according to NFL.com, as you see, number 1 is the Las Vegas Raiders, which means they believe the team that DC plays on in 2022, you guys guessed it, is Las Vegas. But then some teams that others could potentially trade for him: the Indianapolis Colts at number 2, New Orleans Saints at 3, Pittsburgh Steelers 4, the Washington Football Team at number 5. Now, again, this is not my list. This is NFL.com. Personally, I think Washington would be a little bit higher because of Jack Del Rio. And then some other landing spots: the New York Giants, the Carolina Panthers, and the Houston Texans. Now, obviously, Derek's going to be making $9.9 million. I think he's a phenomenal contract on that type of deal. But I said it before, if it was up to me and you can get 2 first-round picks for DC, I would probably do it. If DC wants to play on 19.9 and finish off his deal, I'm okay with that. If he wants a contract extension, that I'm not okay with. So where will Derek Carr play in 2022? If you think he's going to stay with the Las Vegas Raiders, I want you to go down in the comments section right now and spam LV. If you think it's going to be another team, type O. And if you want to be an overachiever, which I always like when you guys do, let me know which team you think goes out and trades for DC. Or remember, Carr said that he would rather retire than play with another NFL team. So if you think he's just going to retire because the Raiders want to move on, go ahead and spam RT. We're going to continue this conversation here around some crazy rumors because I saw an article from Sportsnaut, and let me just say this. Sportsnaut is basically, I don't know, like believing in unicorns, the tooth fairy, and if I'm spoiling anybody around Santa, I'm sorry. But there was an article out there that was 4 ideal Justin Fields trade scenarios from the Bears. The reason why that they have Derek Carr linked together here with Justin Fields, which, by the way, I'm giving this, zero Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. It's absolutely fake news. The reason why they had the trade going down is because they're anticipating Harbaugh going to the Raiders, and the reasoning behind it was, well, Harbaugh watched Justin Fields at Ohio State. That reasoning to me makes me laugh a little bit. So here was the trade that Sportsnaut threw together. The Raiders received Justin Fields and a 2022 conditional 3rd-round pick. The Chicago Bears, they get Derek Carr. Now, if you guys could, I like when you guys take screenshots of these, post them on Twitter, post them on IG, because for whatever reason, people can't read it and they think that I come up with the trade ideas, but these go viral a lot. So please go ahead, share it. It helps the show grow. So who wins the trade? I want you to go ahead and type Raiders, or I want you to type Bears down in the comments. Now, when I asked the people here at Chat Sports, who do you all think won this deal? Every single person, and yes, I meant every single person, typed the Bears typed the Raiders because Justin Fields is a young rookie quarterback, 2nd-year guy, and you're getting a 3rd-round pick. Now, the only way I believe that the Raiders make this deal is if the new head coach that they bring in wants Justin Fields. Do I think that Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Fields as it stands right now? Of course I do. But you're trying to project. You're trying to hope that Fields can grow and be a solid quarterback. I'm not going to look at what Matt Nagy did to him because Matt Nagy is an absolute idiot when it comes down to being able to figure out a game plan. I like Justin Fields a lot, and if you were to ask me would I make that trade, my answer honestly would be yes. Yes, it would. Now, if you guys haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. I always tell people, hey, slide in my DMs. More than happy to answer your questions. But also, I posted some really, really cool Raider stats today that I want you guys to also share because I'm sure a lot of the players that are about, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Denzel Perriman, probably would enjoy it as well. So if you guys could, give me a follow on IG. Check out my Instagram story to see some really awesome Raider stats. Now, the last thing that we're going to be doing here on today's show is I've been getting asked frequently, Mitch, what do you think are going to be the next GM, head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders? Now, again, this is only a guess. This is my best educated guess from people that I've talked to. It is not set in stone, but once everything is set in stone, you guessed it, we're going to go live here on the Raiders Report. So here's my Raiders projected staff coming in at general manager. I'm going to go with Ed Dodds. Everybody that I hear from, everybody that I talk to, a lot of things are really starting to point towards Ed Dodds. Now, who does Dodds end up talking about hiring as his head coach? Yep, probably no surprises here. It's Jim Harbaugh. So I got Jim Harbaugh. Ed Dodds, I want the Raiders to fire Greg Olsen. It hasn't happened yet. I believe it's going to happen. So I'm going to go with Pep Hamilton. Now, there's been some people talking to me like, I don't know if the Raiders would go that route because Pep Hamilton, Jim Harbaugh didn't really work out all that well at Michigan. But Pep and Harbaugh are very good fans, and Hamilton is considered a quarterback genius, and I honestly think that Harbaugh could potentially look at bringing in a new quarterback. And then the final guy, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Fangio and Harbaugh are like peanut butter and jelly, really, really good friends. Fangio, who is a very well, I'll say, respected defensive mind. Haven't really heard anything about him, just like we haven't really heard anything about Pep Hamilton. In fact, Hamilton has declined an interview already. Ed Dodds, he just decided to not continue with the Bears. When you really look at all these pieces, this is what I think is going to be the Raiders' projected staff. So if this was the staff going into 2020, I want you to grade it. A, B, C, D, or F. I want you to let me know down in the comments. And, Jack, if you could switch up the lower third to say subscribe to the Raiders Report, because I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on Twitter. I'm going to put it on Instagram just like I want you guys to do. So this Raiders projected staff is going to be, again, give me those grades, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comments. Now, shout out to Jack. I know you guys kind of saw what we put on there, but he's always working hard behind the scenes. And again, take a screenshot of this, y'all. I want to post it on my IG and on my Twitter as well. Now, here's going to be the final part of today's show. I know we're kind of considered the faces of the show and whatnot, and you guys always see me, you get to know me, but you don't really get to know the producers at all either. And if it's not for the producers, we wouldn't be able to do as amount of shows as we do. We wouldn't be able to go live like we do. So here's the thing. I want you guys to go follow producer Jack on Twitter. The first 10 people who do that get a shout-out. Now, Jack's Twitter is at Jack Lauderay. It's also in the comments. It's also going to be in the description of today's video. So the first 10 people that follow him, you're going to get a shout-out here soon on the Raiders Report.